Okay, first things first. I'm sure you would forgive the average person, and I choose to use that word. You forgive the average person because even though in the prologue we did mention that there's $1 billion industry still to be unlocked in there, and then you say, of course, you're of course the MD of what's described as the largest envelope manufacturer in Nigeria. What do you say to the person who just looks down on the importance of envelope and say, well, envelopes, they're no more very involved, who still uses an envelope?
Thank you very much. In the first place, I'll first start from digitalization, emails. Digitalization is the best thing that happened to us all over the world. As an envelope manufacturer, we don't have anything against digitalization, but I want to ask you a question. If you get 500 emails per day, how many can you read? If you are a genius, maybe you read 50 emails.
Okay.
So are you telling me that 450 messages that came in, they are not important? Of course, they are important.
Yeah.
There are so many other important documents. When I tell people that I manufacture envelopes in this digital world, are people still writing letters? Of course, there are a lot of usage when it comes to envelopes. But the most important thing that we need to put in mind is that our postal services. I'm sorry, this is without prejudice. It's just to make life comfortable for us as Nigerians.
So why does it appear to be going out of use? Because just like you said, in the West, in fact, you hardly see houses without that little box in front of the house, which is to receive mails and to receive letters, even till today.
Yes.
Why does it appear to be going out of fashion although we never really had that culture in Nigeria, but why does it appear to be that way?
Well, I will digress a little bit and I'll also go back to what we were saying earlier. We love the world. We want to make sure that we live a healthy life. When we say don't use paper, in Europe, the idea is if you cut one tree, because paper is made of wood, if you cut one tree, plant 3 as a replacement, just to protect the environment. That is just it. But for one weird reason, this idea, whenever a message is passed, is either here nor there. This idea was perceived negatively by some set of people that we need to go digital 200% and forget about paper. The answer is no. I'm not trying to defend NIPOST, but if they run profitably, definitely they will still be in business. So the fault is from both parties. People are not posting letters again. Does it mean that the retirees that are in Iseyin or the retiree in Ogidi in Igbo land, does it mean that they will not receive their dividend? And when you really look at it, do we really have money in Nigeria to put in fiber optics equipment so that internet will be all over Nigeria?
Oh, it's important that we're able to balance this argument and not, see it from that side alone. Of course, you are a stakeholder in the business. You're still there, and of course, the likelihood is that you would encourage the use of letters and the use of writing and all that. But the question is, if I need to reach out to you, for instance, and I know that if I write you a letter, it will take about 3 days to get there or to get to you. Maybe at best, if we use what we have in Nigeria based on the NIPOS that you said, which maybe for some is already deformed. But I know that I could also send you a text message. I could send you an email, which, well, you also did mention that if you receive tons of emails, you might not be able to catch a hold of all of them. But if I send you an email, that gets to you in seconds. And I have effectively communicated. So why would I use, the letter?
Thank you very much. That is if you have internet that works. That is if your WhatsApp has internet. When you talk of internet, it's with us in the urban areas
sure.
that we have developed. Does it mean that the people in the remote areas does not deserve to receive those messages?
I would like to think that even beyond that, there has to be a culture, because even in the West, which we have mentioned earlier, where when it comes to the issue of internet and inclusivity, it appears that they have most of the country covered. They still find reasons to post. How lucrative is it for you? How profitable is it for you being in that business in this day and age?
It is very, very profitable. For example, when you look at our elections, I'm sorry to digress a little bit. There's a lot of litigations all over. And the people in the remote villages, they have the right to post. But at times, their card readers fail them. Not because they don't want to work, but because their internet is not working. I'm sorry, it will look as if I am marketing FAE Limited. Well, of course, as the MD, I will market FAE Limited, but there's an envelope called tear.
For you.
There's an envelope called tear resistance waterproof envelope. These envelopes, countries outside Nigeria, they buy it a lot for their elections. It does not tear. It's water resistance. That is, all ballot papers will be inserted into this envelope. As soon as you open this envelope, you find void, opened. That is, whatever ballot papers that has been inside that envelope, they are null and void. So nobody should count those ballot papers.